All right, hey everybody. Tonight we're going to be talking about the ProLite Supernova, part of the Black Diamond series. The Black Diamond ProLite Supernova. Now scientists say that black diamonds, which are found in Brazil, originated in space from the debris of a supernova. So very interesting how they came up with that combo of names. The supernova in the Black Diamond series. So let's kick this off with a little song that I think is very appropriate for the supernova. It's a little bit ambitious for me, but hope you'll like it. Here we go. Supernova. You like that? Yeah, I know. That's a tough song to sing, but I had to do it. I had to do it. It was perfect. So hopefully that didn't chase too many, get too many dogs barking in the neighborhood. But tonight we're going to talk about the Supernova, which is truly the champagne of paddles. Definitely at the top of the line, the creme de la creme of the pickleball paddle world. Sunday, I did a video review with Simone Jardim, who was involved in the design of the Supernova. She came from the Titan, and there was certain things that she wanted to improve on with the Supernova, and she worked with ProLite, and I'm going to tell you all about that. We recorded a review, but the audio did not come out so good. I did a transcript for it, and I'll give you a link to that at the end of the review. You can go read the review word for word. Hopefully she'll be able to come back on with me at some point, and we could talk some more about this paddle or other paddles. But the audio really wasn't good enough, and I don't want to put out a product that doesn't represent ProLite in the best way, or Simone in the best way. But I did take notes on our conversation. I wrote down everything that she said. She gave me permission to quote her in this review, so I'm going to tell you everything that we spoke about. So let's start out with the specs of the Supernova. The Supernova is 7.7 to 8.2 ounces in weight, which is that perfect, not too heavy, not too lightweight that most people like. It's 15.5 inches long from tip to butt. It's about your standard length paddle. It's 8.25 inches wide, which is a little bit wider than most. And if you could see, compared to the Titan, which is its little brother, you can see it's a little more box, square shaped, and it's a little wider. So that gives you a wider sweet spot going this way, and you don't really lose anything going this way. So the grip is 4 1/8 around. It comes with a colored wrap, which matches the color of the paddle. You can see this one's orange, and it comes in several colors. It comes in red, blue, green, and orange like this, and they match the wrap to the color of the paddle, which looks really sharp. Now this grip size is a little small for me. It might be perfect for most women, but if you're a guy, you have big hands, if you wear like a large or an extra large glove, you might want to ask them to put on the diamond grip, which is the same grip that you see here. on the Titan. Really nice grip. It makes the grip a lot thicker and builds it up. And Simone talked about how she really loves the diamond grip. She played tennis her whole life. She's used to a 4 3/8 size grip, which is kind of the standard for tennis rackets. So she wanted the grip to be very similar to her tennis grip. Now, when I spoke to Simone about how, I asked her how was she involved in the design of this paddle, and she said she loved the Titan, and she started playing with the Titan. This was one of her original paddles that she was playing with professionally, and she loved everything about it. She loved its control, the spin, the pop. It has the same carbon fiber surface here as does the Supernova. So she really liked everything about this, but she hits, if you've ever seen Simone play, she likes to hit a two-handed backhand, okay? And as you can see, after you get your first hand on here, there's not a lot of room in there for a second hand. I mean, you could kind of do it if you do like a little overlap grip there, like a golf grip, but it's kind of tough. So her number one thing she wanted with the Supernova was a longer handle so she can get both hands on there. And you can see I have no trouble getting both hands on there, and she loves it for her two-handed backhand. So you can see it gives you more room up under the handle to get your hand right in there. Now if you try doing that with the Titan, you're going to have a hard time. It kind of goes up in a V and it's kind of awkward. So this paddle is great for anyone that likes to hit a two-handed backhand. But that's not the only good thing about this paddle. I'll talk about later about why other people that don't hit two-handed backhands would want to use this. It's just a slightly longer handle, and with that longer handle, you get a little extra power over the Titan because you're getting a little more leverage into your shot, and you get a nice wider sweet spot, which is great for blocking. It's a little bit wider. And the other thing that she said was she wanted them to make something that felt as close to a tennis racket as they possibly could make. So she loves the shape of the grip, the diamond grip. It feels a lot to her like a tennis racket. She's used to that type of feel. And she also told me how it's important to make sure when you're looking at the grip that it fits you properly. And she mentioned the old, some of you may already know about this, but I'll show you real quick anyway. When you grip the paddle, you want to be able to get a finger right in between your fingers and your palm here, the base of your palm. If your fingers are touching, like with this stock grip, my fingers are pretty much touching the palm of my hand here. That's too small for me. But with the standard diamond grip, you can see there's room there. So I could pretty much put my finger there pretty comfortably. And that's kind of a way that you can tell if a grip is too big or too small for you. You don't want your fingers to be touching the base of your palm there. That's way too small. But it's a lot easier to just put another grip on here than it is if you get a grip that's too big. It's very tough to go down, and that's another thing she mentioned. She said how it's a lot easier to build a grip up than to go down. It's virtually impossible to go down. You can put a thinner wrap on it, but after that you're basically you're stuck. So the next question I asked her was why is this paddle better than the Titan? And we talked about the grip, how it's longer, lets her freeze up her two-handed backhand. She also loves the Headlight balance of this paddle. Now Simone, she talked about how she had a lot of shoulder issues when she played tennis her whole life, and from serving in tennis repeatedly. And a lot of you guys out there, you play tennis, you know what it's like when you get shoulder pain. And when she switched, she used to use a heavier paddle that had a lot of weight towards the tip. And when she initially switched to the Titan, she immediately saw that pain started to go away because the Titan is balanced a lot like the Supernova, And she likes that Headlight balance. It really helped her to eliminate those shoulder issues. And she talked about how it generates speed and power without a lot of effort. So it's easy to whip this thing through the air. Her older, heavier paddle, she talked about, even gave her tennis elbow. So when she started playing pickleball, she was also teaching tennis at the same time, and she couldn't, she couldn't play with injuries like that. So it was very important to her that she got the right paddle that allowed her to play injury and pain-free. And she talked about that a lot, and the Supernova really helped her with that. So any of you out there that have some issues with the shoulder, maybe you're overcompensating and you're trying to hit too hard, you really should check out this Supernova, because it's not always about the weight, about just the ounces of the paddle. It's also about the way it's balanced. If it's balanced more, you can see, it's hard for me to show you where the balance point is, but it's right about there. So you can see there's less room up here, which means there's more room down, there's more weight down on this side of the paddle, which means it's Headlight. There's more weight in the handle. And when you put that diamond grip on the handle, you get even more weight down here. So it becomes even more Headlight. So it'll be really nice to you people that have some shoulder issues. So after we spoke about that, I asked her, sure, this paddle is working great for you, for pros. How would a typical rec player, a 3.0 to a 3.5, how would they benefit from this paddle? And she mentioned how the large sweet spot really helps her out, and how that would really help anybody out. She says when she hits the ball, right around the edge here, it still gives her a pretty decent response and gets to where you were aiming. There's not a lot of dead spots on this paddle, and because it's also wider, you can miss this way and still keep the ball in play. So everybody's going to benefit from a bigger sweet spot. Everybody misses the center from time to time. She also said that ex-tennis players will really like this paddle. If you're new to pickleball, or if you still play tennis, you've been playing for a while, and you want something that feels a lot like a tennis racket, you should really check this out. She also talked about how the carbon fibers, I don't know if you can see, you could kind of see the fibers under the surface. If you look close enough, it's a really smooth feeling surface, but she spoke about how the carbon fibers under the surface, how they give really easy spin to the ball, and how it absorbs pace. So, and it's also going to benefit any level player that hits with a two-handed backhand. So there was some other things that we spoke about. One interesting thing that she mentioned was, with this paddle, there's really a need to break it in. She used the analogy of when a baseball player gets a brand new baseball glove, you can't really go out and play with it right away. It's all stiff and it's new and you can't really use it. And she said that you really need to play with this paddle for a little while before you take it out into important matches, into a tournament. It needs time to break in, and that's because of the carbon fibers in here. They react to getting hit over and over with the ball, and it actually changes the characteristics of the paddle in a good way. She actually hates playing with a new Supernova, and she won't use it in a tournament. She says she brings 3 paddles with her to every tournament, and she'll make sure that they're all worn in about the same way, and that they're all the same balance and the same weight. So if something happens and somebody, her partner smashes her paddle, there's various times where you can have an accident and you could kind of ruin your paddle. So you need to have one that you can reach into your bag, pull it out, and it'll be identical to the one that you were just playing with. You don't want to have to get all used to it again in the middle of a match, and that could be the difference between winning and losing. So I thought that was really interesting how she said that this paddle needs to be broken in. She also emphasized the importance of really trying out a paddle for more than 5 or 10 minutes. Because of the injury situation that she had, you really need a paddle that fits you right, fits your game right. She talked about how the Supernova made her into a better defensive player. She used to be very offensive, and she still is, but it made her defensive game much better when she started using this paddle with the wider sweet spot. She said she had a lot of confidence in this paddle when she switched from the Titan over to the Supernova. And she talked about how confidence in your paddle really helps, it pours over into your game, and you don't want to be playing a tournament and in the middle of it you're wondering, is this the right paddle for me? Is this the best paddle? Why did I pick this paddle? You have to really try it out, make sure it's for you, and once the paddle is working for you, it should never be an issue anymore. And all you can do is focus on your game, focus on strategy. You don't want to be worrying about, is this the right paddle? So she was really big on making sure that you give the paddle a good try. And that's pretty much everything that we spoke about. I asked her what type of player she thinks this is best for, and she's an all-around player. She plays with a lot of power, but this paddle really will work for anyone that likes control with power and also likes to spin the ball, has a finesse game. This paddle is just great at absorbing pace. If you're blocking at the baseline, somebody's banging at you, you can just slowly drop that ball right down in front of the net, frustrate them, and they'll think twice about hitting the ball hard at you the next time. This paddle just has wonderful, wonderful touch, just like the Titan. If you saw my review on the Titan, if you didn't see it, I invite you to go back and watch it, because almost everything that I've said about the Titan is also true about the Supernova. All the stuff inside is the same with both paddles. It's basically the handle and the shape and the balance that is different. So, this would benefit, in summary, the type of player that this paddle would be perfect for is a player who likes to use spin. This paddle gets crazy spin, just like the Titan. And with the longer handle, you get a little more leverage, a little more whipping action on the ball. If you like to hit topspin, you like to hit slice, this is a great choice. It's great in the kitchen. Touch shots, dinking is just unbelievable with this paddle. Ex-tennis players, like I said, transitioning into the game, check this out. This would be a great choice for you. And what is this? Lastly, what paddle is similar to this on the market? There's not many that are like this, that have this carbon face, that play the way this paddle does, that feel the way this paddle does. Obviously, this one is similar. The Titan is similar. Another one that's a little bit like this one would be the Tempest. Also, that's a graphite paddle, but graphite and carbon fiber are kind of similar in the way they feel, the way they play. So the Tempest is similar to this one. It's definitely more of a finesse player's paddle, more of a touch and feel paddle. One of the best out there. Can't say enough good things about this. And as far as my interview with Simone, I transcribed the whole thing into written format. I'm going to put that up on my website. So if you'd like to read that whole review, in written format, please go to my website, www.pickleballpaddlereviews.net, and click the link that says written reviews on the first page at the top. It's on the third page of my website. Also, once you go on there, please sign up for my mailing list and check out any older reviews that maybe you haven't seen yet. And we're going to be having a lot of great things coming up. We're going to get some more maybe some more guest reviewers to co-host with me and talk about their signature paddle. So a lot of exciting things coming your way. If you love paddles, if you love watching reviews like me, you're going to have a lot of fun in the future. We're going to keep growing with this thing. Make sure you check out my Facebook page, Pickleball Paddle Reviews, if you haven't already. And that's about it for tonight. I'm glad you were able to join us, and can't say enough good things about this Supernova. If you haven't checked it out, you owe it to yourself to try this one out. Try out the Titan as well. And if you want to order this paddle, there's a link on my website where you can go straight to ProLite. And if you use my promo code JACK10, JACK10, you will get a 10% discount on either of these two paddles or on any ProLite paddle. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Pickleball Paddle Reviews. Take care.